Napoleon emptied the Vatican's collection of masterpieces, and the Pope turned to one artist to replace them. Hi, I'm Alexander from Crown Tours, and today I'm going to tell you the most fascinating story of Napoleon Bonaparte, Antonio Canova, and the tragedy that created unexpected beauty. In the early 1800s, during Europe's most tumultuous period, power, art, and ambition spectacularly collided. Rising from the ashes of the French Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte sought not only to conquer nations, but to reshape culture itself, leaving an indelible mark in history. Yet, grand ambitions often carry heavy consequences. Well, in this case, tragedy would become the catalyst for a fantastic and fascinating artistic renewal. Napoleon's relationship with art was complicated, multifaceted. He saw art not just as a reflection of culture, but as a tool to legitimize his rule and create an enduring legacy. When Napoleon entered Italy, he encountered a country that had centuries of accumulated masterpieces, particularly Rome, particularly Vatican museums. These treasures weren't just spiritual symbols, they were objects of immense cultural prestige. In 1797, after his army's victory at the Battle of Rivoli, Napoleon marched on Rome, and he demanded that priceless works be taken from the Vatican and sent to France as spoils of war. Among the most famous were the wonderful Laocoon, the Immortal Apollo Belvedere, and the exquisite Venus, along with countless other sculptures, paintings, and relics. Think of it as an assertion of political dominance that scattered these masterpieces all the way across Europe. But loss paved the way for creation. Enter Antonio Canova, the preeminent sculptor of his day, a master of neoclassicism. Canova was chosen to fill the empty spaces with new masterpieces, restoring a sense of grandeur to the Vatican. His task was not to replicate the stolen works. History and aura cannot be duplicated, but instead to recapture their essence. Canova's sculptures were graceful, detailed, serene. They embodied resilience. His Perseus with the head of Medusa, the Boxus Krugus and the Moxines. They did more than replicate beauty, they reinvented it. Through Canova, tragedy transformed into renewal. Beauty arose where loss had struck. History shows that great art often springs from upheaval. Shakespeare's plays on betrayal, Beethoven composing while dead, Impressionists reacting to industrialization. Canova's work reminds us that beauty doesn't come from the absence of pain, but from our ability to transcend it. So, what do we take from this? Well, art is not just preservation, it's reinvention. It's about expressing eternal human truths, the human soul, the human condition, even when old forms are destroyed. Through tragedy, new beauty can be born, and through beauty, troubled era's legacy endures. Napoleon's conquests may have stolen the Vatican's artifacts, but artists like Canova endured the spirit lived on. Beauty, like history, is ever renewing and ever evolving. If you enjoyed this story and you'd like to know more, if you'd like to trace Napoleon's loot, stealing of the masterpieces of the Vatican, and learn about Canova's genius through Rome and the Vatican, click the link in the description and join Crown Tours on an expert-led experience. We're a local tour operator, and we would love to show you the art that survived history's greatest heist. See you soon.